David, I want to ask you about your Chelsea boys tonight. Talk to me.
They were awful. It was so bad. I'm watching the game and just going like, no goal is coming, we've lost, there's no chance. And then Trippier just decides to give us a goal, which is great. Like, again, it's the same thing. We can hold the ball really well when teams don't press us, and we can get near the box. But once we get near the box, it's like, oh my God, what do we do? And there's just nothing there. There's nothing there. What's it? Nkuku, when he came on, looked all right, but again, it's his first game. He had 20 minutes, and the one time he did actually like make a really good run, and they had a 2-on-1. Sterling missed up the pass.
Get used to that, Nkuku. Get used to those misplaced passes.
Yeah, literally, like he's got to start getting used to that. It's very typical. It was, it is what it is. It's not a great game, but we're through. It's cup football, so you take the wins when they come along. That's simple. Give me Middlesbrough. I want to go to Wembley. I'm not, again, everyone who's watched the Terrace for time knows me. When we were in the Champions League and everyone's like, I want City, I want to Bayern Munich, I want Real Madrid, I want to prove we're the best. No, I want Porto, I want Benfica, I want Port Vale, I want Middlesbrough, I want Wimbledon. Give me these easy teams, then we get to the final. And then if I have to play someone big, I have to play someone big. But I don't like this messing around. I want to prove I'm a big man. No, I will beat up on smaller teams until I get to that point. I will beat 4-0, 5-0, 3-1. I don't care. I just want them out of the way. And if we have Middlesbrough, that's 2 games where hopefully we can play our first team in the first game, win out 4-5-0, and play the second team in the second game. We can relax and go to Wembley. Because what this club really needs right now probably is a trophy. If we win a trophy, Poch has got a lot longer lifetime than if he doesn't, and I think that's what he's going to need. Because
sorry, David, I didn't mean to interrupt there. Sorry, mate. I wanted to ask you because I was looking. Social media is sometimes a good and a bad barometer for how people are feeling, but the amount of Poch out, I mean, it's still actually trending right now. Poch out is still trending. The amount of Chelsea fans are still saying here, playing numerous players out of position, including Enzo. Yes, we won tonight, but it was by luck as opposed to by design. Chelsea fans seem to be turning on him game by game by game by game. How sustainable is it if the manager who got you that win tonight and has got you through to the semis has, I would say, I'm talking about social media, maybe not the ground might be different, but on social media, it feels like a good 50-60% have already turned their back on Poch.
I mean, he's a Spurs manager, so that was to be expected. Unless he came in and literally won 10 games on the bounce, people are going to find reasons to not like him. It's been the same for every single manager we've had ever since Mourinho left, pretty much. If you go online, there was always Sarri out, Tuchel out, Poch out. There's been everyone out. Like, it's a really hard job to take over. For me personally, I don't care who's got that job right now. They'll be in the same position. So I'm not here to judge Poch right now. I just want to see us have this manager for 2 or 3 years and then see where we're at. If we win a trophy in that time, it massively benefits them because then they've got something to hold on to. But I just think the best thing for this club right now is have a bit of stability because we've gone through so much change in the past 3 years. No one even knows half the squad. If you ask other fans who's in Chelsea starting 11, they have no clue. That's how much change has happened. Before, everyone knew like 6-7 Chelsea players at minimum. Now nobody knows anyone because there's been so much rotation through all the positions. I think it's best we just have one person.
If he gets, it's a big if. If he gets 9 points at the next 3 games, that will relieve a little bit. And also,
I'm not sure who are the next.
It's Wolves away, Palace home, and Luton away. So I'm saying that's why I said if.
Yeah, if he gets 9 points.
That relieves the pressure. The problem you have with the way you guys perform and play, you win those 3 games, then you're absolutely right. The pressure is then relieved. You lose to Wolves on Christmas Eve, draw at home to Palace, and then maybe beat Luton. Then suddenly it almost feels like it then becomes untenable because the noise becomes so loud, if that makes sense. And I'm kind of in 2 minds. I understand the people that are frustrated with Poch. At the same time, I always talk about this with Lee Gunner. you can't judge every situation the same. Football clubs are not a monolith where every scenario and every club is exactly the same as the other. And I think with all the mess and turmoil you've been through, maybe having just a manager, even if things get bad, until you've built at least a balanced squad, may be a sensible thing to do. Because I don't think, listen, you could throw Diego Simeone into your team. You could go and get a peak Jose Mourinho. I don't think he gets this team to a top class level. It's too young. It's too inexperienced. It's going to take time to do that, you know. Alex is here with us. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad, man. I'm really happy with the result in the sense that we're through to the next round. Winter Surfer's spot on. Like, I just want to be in the draw. I just want to go through to the next round, especially the way things are going. We don't know when we might be in a semi-final again. Like, it's really sad. But I think David was right about like the Pochettino, like the fact that he was a Spurs manager is already a massive problem. So he had to like fight his way to almost earn the trust of the fans, especially the match-going fans, the ones I talk to. A lot of them were fully against it. But then I think some of his decisions need to be better. Like, yes, we played well in the second half in the sense that, yeah, we had the ball and we had 15-minute spells where we had a few chances. But all in all, Newcastle defended fairly compact and it took a mistake for us to score. And Enzo in the 10, it doesn't work. Gallagher in the 6. Like, there was a stat came out. Gallagher had 146 touches and 108 completed. People are celebrating that. Gallagher should not be passing the ball 105 times. Like, that's not his job. He's never been good enough to be that player. Like, you don't spend 105 million pounds on a deep lying player only to play him in the 10 and then play Gallagher in the double pivot next to Caicedo. It doesn't make sense. And then you have two fullbacks. You have Gusto for this specific reason, natural width. And I think the Newcastle boys will admit with me, sorry guys, I haven't caught your names and it doesn't say them down here, but I think you both can agree. When Gusto went to the right back position and we were putting crosses in first time around, that's when your defense started looking a little bit more shaky because you had to do some genuine defending, right? When Gusto... Otherwise, I don't know what he's doing. Like, and Pochettino will get himself sacked because the talent is not 10th place talent. I don't want him sacked, but he'll get himself sacked. Because I think if we switch managers, Eddie Howe turns this team into a top 6 side, battling for top 4, purely based on there'll be a system, there'll be cohesion, players will play in their own positions, wingers will be direct and flying. Poch is too safe for his own reckoning. Like, I like Poch as the person. I think if I went to a pub with him, we'd have a nice conversation, maybe have a barbecue, have a great time. But as a tactician, I'm like, I've had Tuchel, I've had Sarri, I've had Conte, Jose. I'm comparing you to those people, and you're lacking in every department. Like, charisma on itself, mate, is not going to work. Am I being unreasonable? I don't know. Like, what do you guys think?
Nope.
I actually think so. I mean, because listen, now was it the right idea to bring all these players and young, inexperienced players? No, it wasn't. But ultimately, he's the one manager that I would think that needs time. You know what I'm saying? You got to give him time. And I think that this is the tournament to kind of ease things. This Carabao Cup, if they win it, you got to.
Winning it.
Well, I'm just saying, if they win it, you know, it was a must win for Newcastle, but also for Chelsea because they're not going to make European football. Chelsea's not. Let's be honest. And so this Carabao Cup is, to me, a must win for Chelsea if Pochettino wants to, you know, meet halfway with the fans. Whether they win it or not, it's up for debate. But I mean, you got to give them time. Nobody else you can bring that's going to make this team play better. Come on, let's be honest.
But I don't think about time.
No one's saying sack him. Go on with.
But you're saying that he's going to get himself sacked.
I'm just saying,
yes.
Time is afforded when you play people in their right positions as well. Time is afforded. I wasn't expecting any title run or top 4 thing. I've got to be honest with you. But this team shouldn't be bottom half of the table, 12th or something like that. Okay, should be like minimum 7th, 8th at the moment or something like that. But you buy yourself time when you get wins, when you see progression. He's had 6 months of playing 1 game a week. Basically, this is the first time in a period where it's busy, where it's twice a week. He's had enough time to implement his style of play, or we can see something. Do you know what I mean? Bringing on a sub and playing Gusto at left back when you have Maatsen already there, and then it's just mind blowing.
And then you still bring on Maatsen, and this is what I don't understand, right? So it's getting to the point with Pochettino where I'm starting to make up excuses for him. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe the ownership don't want him to play because Matson's going to be leaving in January. So Poch isn't allowed to play him. Then he brings him on. Because in preseason, Matson was a Pochettino favorite. He was playing every game. And then first game of the season, he got thrown in as well for pivotal minutes. And then all of a sudden, he's just not looked at as a left back when realistically, Levi Colwell's a good player. But he's a good player at centre back. He's not mobile enough.
I think, Terry, this is the first time Matson's actually played left back this season. I think
you guys are right. It's one of those things where a lot of you want to give him time. You understand the situation that you're in is not Chelsea of old, but he has to do the right things to allow himself to be afforded that time. And Enzo playing in the 10, Matson not getting. I mean, the idea that Gallagher could be sold in January. Now, I'm not saying Gallagher's good enough for Chelsea, but the manager's been making him the captain. He then sanctions a sale of him. Yeah. From an outsider looking in, that makes zero sense. The fact that, as you say, Matson kind of played a lot in preseason, then nearly got sold. And then you're going to be selling him in a couple of weeks because you need to raise some money, but yet you're bringing him on in games like today. The whole thing don't make. If he done his leg today, he's out for 2 months. That scuppers the ability to sell someone, then bring somebody else in, and you need more bodies. Some elements, again, and I think a lot of these decisions are down to Poch. I do, not all the signings, but I look at it. You've got to do. Sometimes you just got to do the right thing. And fans stay on side with you. It's when you start doing crazy stuff, it becomes really hard. And as you said, because he's a Chelsea man, he's Spurs, he almost has to achieve more than previous managers to get the same love. Yeah, exactly the same as BS. DR's with us here. What are you saying, bro? You're on mute. There you go, bro.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thanks for having me again. I just feel like this competition plays into teams like ours that are young or teams that are dysfunctional. If you've got a lot of injuries, it's the earliest trophy you can win. So now that my head's more calmer, I just feel like this is the one that we can see what the future holds for the football club and for this team. I just feel like when I go back on what we've accomplished so far, the amount of injuries this club has faced in 2 years in general is ridiculous, and no wonder why there's no continuity and there's no stability. It's just too much, and everyone's too young, and the board are too obsessed with trying to football manager this whole situation with these young South American talents. It's just gonna take time. But the one thing that really worries me with Chelsea is that we can't keep having bad performances like this and bad results like this year after year, because that money's going to dry up. That FFP is going to catch up to us, and then we won't be able to overpay to get a £250 million midfield again. So
there is certainly some truth in that.
We need these improvements.
I hear you. I want to go to some of these super chats that have come in, guys, throughout the course of the show. Laddie here says, great win, but more work needed. Could be the spark that gets us going. Relatively good run of games to gain momentum. But that's what you always want after a performance and result like tonight. It's okay, we'll build on that now and try. I agree with you, Laddie. Maybe it could be. If Chelsea get a trophy and Arsenal don't, I'll be pissed. Yeah, that's always. Can you imagine this Chelsea team wins a trophy before?
Lee said already, didn't he?
Yeah.
If Chelsea win a trophy, they've had a better season than Arsenal had.
Yep. Bruno doing that celebration whilst losing on pens.
Yeah, that was strange.
I just hate how this team can't string two passes. Actually, it's you, DR. It's you. String two passes together in counter-attack situations. This team is a joke. We just don't deserve to win games like this.
We don't. No. We had counter-attack. We had counter-attack opportunities, but it's things like multiple. That. What are you training on the training ground, Pochettino? I just need I need to know, because every single time we're in these situations, it looks like a clown show. It just looks ridiculous, like a circus of top.
Terry, can I ask you for your opinion on Cole Palmer, please? because I think a lot of the fan base is getting carried away with the level of the player. I think good young player, but not ready to be a top 4 starter. And it's proven over and over again. Like, he's bailing us out because he'll get like a penalty or he'll get an assist because of the volume of times he'll have the opportunity to thread it through. But even today, he always dribbles into players. He doesn't go out. He doesn't, like, for me, have enough variety to his game yet. And yes, he needs to develop. And I don't think by no means I'm saying he's a bad player. But is the consensus that he is the player that should be starting now, or do we need to add more quality to just take some burden off him?
Pep knew what he was doing.
No, well, I get that, but I mean, last match, was he not one of your best players of the match?
For 10 minutes.
No, what?
10 minutes.
But overall, I mean, regardless, I mean, if you look at the whole match, was he not crucial for that match that went against a poor team? But
then if you watch the first half, right?
But that's what I'm saying. It's like right after Chelsea fans wanted to get him out of Stamford Bridge immediately. Like, why is there so much? You know what I mean? I don't understand. It's always never a gray area. It's always black or white.
For me personally, it's the thing that I keep trying to tell people, but nobody seems to want to listen. He is young, so by definition, he is going to have ups and downs. But is there a player in there 100%? One thing that does annoy me is that I think he's far more of a central player than he's a wide player, and Poch keeps switching him from each position. I think he's far more dangerous when he's in the middle, like controlling what's going on around him, because then he actually, instead of dribbling towards the centre, will dribble out wide because he's already in the centre. Naturally, that's just where I think is his best position. But he's young, so even if you play him in the same position, in the same system over and over again, he's still by definition going to have ups and downs. His issue is that he's playing in a Chelsea team that are even more inconsistent than probably he is himself. Right. So he can never get a consistent run of games. But if you took Cole Palmer into Arsenal right now, he'd be great.